All right. So welcome back to the Ardent podcast. This is a podcast for our Ardent family, and we're trying to get a couple episodes done today.
We're kind of crushing it.
Yeah.
You notice we're in the same clothes, in the same spot for like 3 episodes.
Same coffee.
Yep.
This one probably won't be that long, but we had a good question from a student that asked, what did they ask?
Okay. God created all animals. He made the serpent, Genesis 3:1. Then did he set up Adam and Eve and all of humanity for failure/falling into sin? And if humanity is to reign over the animals, and Adam named the animals, then did God create the serpent evil?
Okay.
So basically, if God created everything, then
did he create evil?
And the serpent is evil, did he therefore create evil?
Okay.
And if evil is introduced in the garden with Adam and Eve, that is called holy and set apart in paradise, then did he set them up for failure?
Okay, got it. Because he knew what they would do.
Yep. He knew what would happen. Yeah.
Right. Or even
Question.
set them up with tempting. So okay, so God, I think let's take a step back. So God created everything, right?
Yep. Genesis 1.
And so if he created everything, then I will say God created everything to be good. So his creation is good.
Yep.
Evil, this is how I've been told. Evil is not a thing. Okay?
Okay.
Evil is a perversion of the created good.
Okay.
So God creates goodness right here. Evil is this like perversion of it. So it's not a created thing.
Yep.
It's not like oh, God created good things and bad things. And like they're just kind of at war. Like he creates good things and it's a perversion of it. Like it's a twisting. It's a it's to pervert. That it's like you ever heard like a pervert or like someone who perverts something, right?
I've always heard it said to like God is the creator and no one else can create like God. So in order for evil to exist, it just has to be perverted or changed.
Yeah. And I think actually that evil actually gives evidence that there is a God. Because people who are like, okay, looking at like, wait, I'm observing evil, right? There's like really, it's clear. There's such bad things in the world, right? And so someone's like observing this evil and what they're saying is that like, wait a minute, that's not how it's supposed to be. Well, what they're saying is that there is absolute morality. Like there is actually objective truth and objective good and objective bad, right?
Yep.
Instead of everyone just kind of like running loose and just like, well, I think this is good, but you think this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, no, we even as humans can just like inherently know this is bad, this is good, right? Well, where does that come from?
Yeah.
Like, do we all just collectively like get together and meet about it? And like, yeah, we're like, we decided no one did, right? And even so, there are people that disagree because they're like evil, but we're like, no, it came from something, right? It's like this cause and effect, right? And we've kind of talked about that in different podcasts, like how we know that like God real. This was part of it, but we know like, wait a minute, that's evil. That's not how it's supposed to be. Which is saying like there is good and it comes from something. Well, that something must be kind of the higher power, God, you know. So it doesn't like prove God's existence, but there's evidence that leads to it, right? So God did not create evil. Okay. He did create Adam and Eve, humans. He created like everything, you know, and he started forming the land, which is Eden. Now it's funny because a lot of people think like, wait, why is the serpent there? It's perfect. Yeah. Well, what does it say? Did God say it's perfect?
God looked at all he created and said it was very good. Fine.
Okay, he said it's good. Did he say it's perfect?
No.
See, like we always kind of think of this like Eden as like, oh, this perfectness. Now I'm not saying it's not perfect, but he calls it good. And then he gets to creation, like us, me and you know, humanity, and then he calls it very good. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's forming this land, and then he's forming it for humans to flourish in, right? So it is this really good place that is actually for humans to do well in, right? But it's to delight in each other and to delight in God. That's what Eden means. Eden means delight.
Yeah.
And so that it was this land that he formed for Adam and Eve, for humans, to delight in one another and to delight in God. Meaning like to be in relationship with one another and relationship with God. So God's like, hey, like I have this for you. And he does set up a couple boundaries. He actually was like, yo, you're free to do all this, right? But he does say, hey, this one thing is specifically a tree, you know, of the knowledge of good and evil. Like don't eat of it because it's going to go bad for you. Right?
Yeah.
In fact, you're going to die. But then the serpent comes in, but because some people are like, well, he kind of set him up for failure, right? He like betrayed him in that way. But we would kind of say the same thing if he just didn't, he only had good options, right? Or he only, like, if he, like, basically, the idea is like free will. He gave us free will because he loves us and he doesn't want to force us to love him back. And so he's like, hey, I love you so much. I'm going to give you free will. But in order for there to be free will, there has to be choice, right? To love him or to not love him, to follow him, to not, to listen or to not listen, right? And so he gives them this free will, and then they chose to disobey him. But because God is holy, like, you know, they X them out. So I'm probably getting away from like the question a little bit now, but that, yeah, a lot of people do struggle with like, wait, why would God even do that? I think my response is because, well, I think he really loves us, and he give us real free will, and we truly get to make a choice, you know, and we do that today too. And it continues going. So, and then why the serpent? I mean, I don't know if I have a great answer. I mean, the serpent like is, you know, said to be like Satan. Satan was a created good, right, angel that rebelled. Yeah. And so apparently they also had, at least him, you know, had free will. And it was not just him, but it was like him and like his other, like these other kind of armies. There was like basically a spiritual battle that was going on. But then God says like, okay, like you're done, you know, you're kicked out. And so then he like kind of at least this same like enemy kind of idea, like is in the garden in the form of a serpent. So.
And I just learned in school, we were talking about Revelation, the serpent isn't named as being Satan until the book of Revelation. Which is just kind of crazy to me. Yeah. Because we read it and we're very much like, oh, that's the enemy. That's Satan. Yeah. That's Satan or whatever. But
which means what? Like it means
the evil one? Or the adversary.
Yeah, adversary. So which is basically like anti, right? So, which makes sense, like anti-good, like anti everything that God created. So again, it's not like he's creating. Like the Satan cannot create. Yeah. Satan only comes to like, you know, I guess to kill, steal, destroy, like to manipulate, to twist, to pervert, like God's saying. So going back to that kind of idea, like we do the same thing all the time too. Yeah. Like with like say an iPhone, right? Like this phone was created as something that was supposed to be for good. Yep. It's a tool. We can talk to each other. We can do like really awesome things, right?
I can get to where I need to go. I can pay for things.
Totally, yeah. Like it's meant to be really good. But of course, like, do people use that for evil? Yes, but they're not creating. They're just like twisting it. They're using it for evil. The same thing that we see big time in our world is for sex. God created sex. God created sex to be good, to be to simply just be good within that context of marriage, right? He's like, this is like, trust me, it's gonna be good, blah blah blah, whatever. But then we as humanity totally. I mean, that's like kind of the most obvious like. We've like really perverted sex into becoming just like gross and all that. But yeah, like we took you know, God's good design and then perverted it to make it evil. Yeah. And then I mean, think about all the destruction that has caused. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's I don't know if we need to even list them, but I think there's a lot of like gnarly things like that's come from the perverting of something like that's truly meant to be good. Yeah. And there's, I mean, the list goes on. That's just like the obvious one. I think that's like all there. So, dang. But that's a really good question from that student. Yeah. Evil. So to like affirm anyone who has a question about any of this stuff, I think the evil problem. Is
like why is there evil in the world if God is good?
Like yes, because we're told that God's all powerful. we're told that he's all good. So why would an all good, all powerful let bad things happen?
Yeah.
That is the number one question.
It's hard.
That I think really stops people from like believing in Christianity, I guess. And I think it could even pull Christians away sometimes too.
Yeah.
So it's a really hard question. It talks about in the Bible that like, yes, there is bad. It doesn't hide. The Bible does not hide any gnarly, bad, evil things. It actually exposes it. I think Christianity gives us the best answer for evil. That God didn't just go like, oh, that's gross. Like, I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
He's actually like, you know what? That's so bad. And I love my Christians so much that I'm actually going to step down into it, experience it. So this is Jesus coming down, experiencing it, and then dying for it, and then conquering it, right?
Yeah.
So and then later in the book of Revelation, we see like he is going to come back and completely like bring it to finality and like completely restore where like there will be no more sin and like all that stuff. So, anyways. I think Jesus gives a really, really good answer, a better answer than any other like religion or ever like thought to when it comes to evil. So yeah.
It just reminds me to end this too in John 9, when the blind man receives his sight, there's a lot of like uproar from the people around him. They're like, well, why did this happen? Like, how could this happen? And I love his response over and over again. The man who was healed says, I don't know. All I know is this man gave me sight. I was blind and now I can see. Yeah. Like, that's amazing grace. And when these problems and these questions overwhelm us, keep your eyes on Jesus and say, I don't know, but I know God. And keep your eyes fixed on him.
That's a really good pastoral way to end. That was great. Thank you, Michaela.
You're welcome. Have a good day, everyone.
And thank you to that student who brought the question up. That's great.
Seriously.
Okay. See ya.